food business, and she had recently expanded her business from a home-based business into rental property for her commercial kitchen. And so I was helping her with customer service, filling some orders, also with marketing, things like that. We set up a Facebook account, got her on there, set up a Twitter account, eventually set her up on Instagram, continued growing. Before we got to where we are today, though, it got to the point where I was only doing marketing for her, and then she transitioned and wanted to handle all of that in-house. And not unusual. It was, she thought that will cut costs, and we can handle it, everything in-house, and it sounds very logical. What she found, and she discovered as they went along and they did this, that it was very time-consuming, and that she needed her employees focused on really the original reasons that she hired them. I gotta set this down. She found that their time was really more valuable spent on the original task that she hired them to do. And the primary function and focus, and she really didn't need to be throwing extra responsibilities their way, and especially when it was something that they weren't comfortable with or that was out of their wheelhouse of knowledge. She tried some automation at that time. She discovered it worked sometimes, not so great other times, and it really didn't show the true personality of her brand. So when I started LMCB Social, she became my first client, and she's still with me today. But even after using social media for more than 7 years now, her business continues to pick up new clients on social media, just from her social media and a regular presence. Her customers share what they like. They share with their friends. They'll tag their friends and post quite a bit. They interact with her business, and I make sure she's there to listen and interact with them. She's a very wise businesswoman, and she knew she didn't have the time or expertise to control her social media the way it needed to be done. She needed to concentrate on running her business and working in her company, and so she needed to get the help working on the social media and working on her business. So remember her story. We're going to come back to it. But right now, I'm going to tell you the big win to no win, or WTKW. And so this is in your pamphlet. And this is when you absolutely need to take a step back, take a breath, and get help. So win to no win is when your voice has gone silent. Your voice has gone silent, or it either doesn't exist. It's disappeared. And this can be interpreted as all kinds of problems from people who are researching your business, looking at your business, especially for potential customers. And so we did some visualization a few minutes ago. I want you to do it again. So close your eyes, and now picture this with me. You build a shop. And this doesn't, I don't care what business you're in, just pretend you're a shop owner. You've built this great business. It's cute, it's shiny, it's new. You're getting ready to open up your first day. You've really put a lot of hard work into it. You've shared your business idea with everybody. You've got balloons, you've got banners. It's going to be just extraordinary, and you're really, really excited. You've even got a good new store smell going. It's great. You've put a lot of work into it, very welcoming. People are flocking to your store. You've got party favors for them. You're giving goodie bags. It all feels great. Now, keep visualizing here with me, okay? So they're coming in. They're telling their friends. Everything's awesome. 6, 12 months go by. Keep picturing. Business has been great. Time has gone by. People still coming in. Some are regulars. You're getting new clients. They're talking to you when they walk through the door. So you've got people coming in, you're there, then all of a sudden you just freeze. They're still coming in, and you're just staring at them. You're frozen and you're staring. You don't speak back. You're not speaking at all. Your phone's ringing too. It's ringing off the wall. You're not answering it. You're not talking to them. Other people are seeing this. They're seeing you not answer. They're seeing you staring and frozen. And other customers, they know this. Your phone's ringing and ringing. You can open your eyes now. Would you ever do that? Would you ever let somebody walk through the doors of your business, talk to you, ask you questions, and you just stare at them? No, you wouldn't do that. Companies do that all the time, though. They do the equivalent on social media all the time, unfortunately. Don't be that company. Don't do that. Social's not going anywhere. Social is evolving. You have to ask yourself, are you? Are you going places? Are you evolving? It's an accepted part of business these days. It's a given. And again, it goes back to that conversation that I was saying has evolved, thankfully. But recently I was in Chicago, and I was talking to a business owner there. And he was telling me that he is also a student at Loyola getting his master's in business. And he was talking about a class that was all about marketing and a good portion of it on social media and how to use it for your business. And it's just a given. It's an accepted part of business, and you can't be silent. You cannot have a silent voice on social media. So besides the big win to no win, you've got, if you're silent or your voice has disappeared, that's your big. Now, there are 3 contributing factors to this, but these could also stand alone. So the first one of these, the first sign of when to know when to get social help, is a lack of knowledge. Using social media for personal use is very different than using it for business use. There are different factors to consider when you're posting for your business. If I'm posting for myself, it might be silly, it might get kind of quirky, and there's a good reason that most of my Facebook friends are people who have known me for a while outside of business. They can probably hear my voice saying some of the stupid, silly stuff that I say. It's different for business. I mean, while your business, and my LinkedIn connections are totally different. I would not say the same things on LinkedIn that I say on Facebook. But also, business is different. And even though you need to be authentic with your business, it's not necessarily the same as your personal voice. And on business, there's plenty of thought that goes into analytics, the best time to post, what I'm posting. I don't think about any of that when I'm posting personally, on Facebook. There's just not that much thought that goes into it, but there's plenty of thought that goes into it before something goes out for a client, and research that goes out. Your personality may not be the best one for your business too, that voice. It might be a little bit different. It needs to be authentic. Your business voice needs to be authentic, but you need to be conscious of your target market, and you need to be conscious of the community that you're creating too. And you have to give thought to the community that you're creating. A recent third quarter study of social media users found that, and this is a blank too, I think on the back, found that between 35 and 40% of people find the use of slang, especially when it doesn't seem to fit a brand's voice, irritating.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, they're annoyed. They're annoyed when brands try to be funny, and they're not. So, so that's, part of the knowledge there. So you not only need the knowledge of just how to post on Facebook or Twitter or whatever platform you're using, but you've got to have the knowledge of the analytics, the target markets, how to incorporate that into the bigger picture of how the business is operating overall. It's more than just social media. Social media does not stand alone. When you're thinking about your target market, have you given any thought to the culture that you're trying to cultivate with your online community? If your social strategy is to grow your community primarily with giveaways or promotions, most social users are annoyed by this. Have you given thought to the quality of followers? Is your business just concerned with numbers? Are you building those numbers by posting promotions and incentives? While this is shown to boost numbers, it does get those numbers up for sure. Many of these people are not likely to stick around though. And that's what you've got to give thought to, the quality of your community that you're creating. Are you cultivating a coupon culture? This is appropriate for some companies, but you've got to give some serious thought before starting this if it's not built into your long-term plans. I see a lot of new small businesses get their Facebook pages up and running, and they get started on Instagram. Their posts are regular, so they're doing good. People are engaging. But then I start seeing almost every Facebook post being boosted. You see them throwing money at boosting those Facebook posts. Or Instagram pictures, maybe showcasing coupons or discounts, And this makes me really question whether there's a social media plan, whether there's been any knowledge, research done before they just start pushing all this out. Last year, I met with a new restaurant, and they had received lots of publicity, lots of good word of mouth, seemed to be doing well. And I was there. I wanted to bring them on as a client because it was actually a restaurant that I really liked. I had a vested interest. I wanted to see them do well. But I noticed that there were some warning signs with their social media posts and pages and stuff. And that's the kind of business that I like to really go after. When I see something, I'm like, ooh, they need me. This is not going to end well if they continue down this path. But anyway, so I saw some warning signs. Got a meeting with them. They were happy. They thought everything was going well. They were happy with the posts that they were doing. I talked to the manager, and they were real happy with the numbers that they were reaching. I mean, that was really what they were looking at. And in our meeting, they felt like the money that they were spending on boosting the post was well worth it because they were getting more of a reach. And on the surface, that sounds great. More faces, more eyes were seeing their product. I said, all right. So when you pay to boost a picture of a particular food item, is sales going up of that food item? Have you noticed that? He looked at me like I had 3 heads. He's like, well, I don't know.
He didn't know it was even there.
Didn't even cross his mind to even try to track that. You know, he's like, well, we don't really have any way to keep up with that. I said, put a notepad by your register and use hash marks. I don't care. You need to know whether it's, you know, really working for you or not. So they were just throwing we work hard for our money, don't we, ladies? I mean, they were throwing money at Boost and Post without really a goal besides getting in front of more eyeballs, which they were doing, but there were better ways to go about spending their money, honestly. Well, they chose not to hire me, or not to hire anybody. It wasn't just me. They just wanted to continue doing in-house what they were doing, and they were out of business within 12 months. I hate to say, because it was a place I could eat a lot. I'm gluten intolerant, and anyway, I could eat there. It made me sad, but I was like, anyway, they needed help. So that's something else. Know what you don't know and get help. And I think that might be in there too. There may be some blanks. But it's important for business owners, and this is not just social media, really anything, but know what you don't know and then get help. So reflecting back to the story of my first client, she knew she didn't have the social media knowledge. That's, again, your first clue, lack of knowledge. She knew she didn't have it to keep it in-house, and she also realized that she didn't have the time. That's the second, when to know when, is a lack of time. To do it right, it takes a lot of time. It's time consuming. And everyone realizes at this point that your business needs a voice, it needs a presence. Your customers and potential customers want to be part of your online community. Give the people what they want. 75% of people have purchased something because they saw it on social media. I think that's a blank for you too. 75% have purchased because they saw it on social media. If your last post was months ago, it may look like you're not doing well in business. If you're not responding to people, unfortunately, you're in the majority. You're in the majority if you're not responding. 1 in 10 messages actually get a reply. Think about how an active voice who responds in a timely manner could give you a leg up over your competition.
Can I serve dessert?
Yes, please. So 25% actually start following you in order to have a two-way dialogue with you, and 25% of users are annoyed if you don't respond to them. So I think there's some blanks for that too. So 25% want a two-way dialogue, 25% are annoyed if you don't respond to them. It does take time, but can you afford to not give the people what they want? You have to ask yourself that question.
What was the second percentage, 45%?
No, it's 25 for both of them.
Okay.
25 follow you for a two-way dialogue, 25% are annoyed if you don't respond to them. 86% of social media users follow a brand. That's a big number, 86. 73% of online users are likely to buy from a brand that responds from them on social media. And I don't know for sure, so don't quote me on this one. Don't tweet this from your seat. But that probably translates also for B2B. 73% would probably do business with another business who corresponds with them online and over social media too. It takes time. You must think about, as a business owner, how your time is best spent. Value your time. Use it for the reason that you went into business for the first place. The time that you or your employees are spending on social media can many times be spent more effectively working on the guts of your business. You have a particular skill set, and if social media and marketing does not fall within that, chances are you're cheating your business out of more valuable work that you could be doing within your company. My friend who I was giving you the example of, my first client, she actually called while I was preparing this, so I was telling her all about it and how I was using the example of our history together and everything, and about the time necessary and knowledge and when to know when, and she was like, time? She said, tell them it's never early enough. It's like, I just laughed. I was like, well, there you go. Straight from the mouth of a businesswoman and a wise businesswoman. And she'll be celebrating her 10th year in business next year. She went on to buy that rental property where she was. She owns it. She expanded her own business, and now she has renters as well in her building. So it's fun to work with people who are growing too. So, but as business owners, some of us are B2C, some of us are B2B. There's many things that we have in common though. And Memphis Daily News recently held a small business seminar, and some of you may have been there, but one of the business owners talked about utilizing her teams, and she had to learn to really utilize her inside team and her outside team. And she reiterated that lesson of know what you don't know and get help. I think that's a common problem for business owners. It's just something that we share. Don't be your own bottleneck. So we went into business. We all went into our own businesses for a different reason. We each have a story to tell. What it boils down to is you do your business because you like it or you were called to it. And I hope it's like it is for you the way it is for me. And it boils down to I'm so passionate about what I do that you couldn't keep me from doing it. I would be doing it in one regard or another, whether I got paid for it or not, because I love what I do. Now, I get paid for it. Thank you. And I consider myself very blessed that I get to do what I love and get paid for it. But you need to keep getting excited about your business and why you went into that business. And that brings us to our third, when to know when, and that is a lack of enthusiasm. When your social media and this part of your marketing becomes an oh yeah instead of an oh yay, it's going to translate. People will see that you're not excited about your post, which comes across as you not being excited about your business. Make it an oh yeah, and not just make it an oh yay instead of an oh yeah. Don't let it become an afterthought. In a not so ladylike way, it becomes a pain in the ass. And I have this funny way in my head, this is silly, quirky Facebook head that I have, but of measuring different tasks. It could be around the house or business-wise or whatever, and I assign them a PITA factor, P-I-T-A, and it stands for pain in the ass factor. And the higher the factor is, the more it's either I'm not going to do it or I need to hire somebody to do it. And so if your social media has a high PITA factor, you need to get help. Hire somebody. But it shows if, when it's an afterthought, it comes across. And again, your area of expertise. Enjoy that. Don't cheat yourself out, and don't cheat your business out of why you originally went into that. So that brings us to the biggest activity related to social media that you should be doing for yourself. And this is not only something you should be doing, it's an absolute. I try to get all my clients to do it, but every business should be blogging. I've not been convinced that anyone can blog like you. And when I say blogging, it doesn't have to be 2,000 written words. It could be a picture and 10 words. Just something fresh content, something that you're showing people, something that you're educating people about. But everyone needs to be blogging. And so nobody knows your business, your customers, like you do. You know your niche better than anybody. And that's why I say I haven't been convinced yet that anybody from outside can blog like you do. Your employees, get your employees in on it. And you can get help editing. I help edit my clients' blogs all the time. But if you're posting on social media, but you're not blogging, stop that today. I implore you. Stop, spend the time on blogging and get the help for social media. Much more valuable use of your time there. So, several reasons for keeping the blog on your website, but I'm not going to go into those. That's somebody else's talk. But it does relate to social media, and it's something that you need to be doing regularly. Now, regularly, Sean will tell you every week.
Every week.
I try every month, and I'm about a week behind right now. So we're all human, but it's very valuable. So let me add this too. This was interesting while I was preparing this. Something else came up. Blogging does not mean copying and pasting somebody else's blog post on your website and putting your name on it. That's plagiarism, my friends.
Yeah.
And I actually found that on another local social media professional website. So when you do decide to get help, do your research. Do your research. And it takes some time, but look under some covers because, wow, I was blown away. So, recapping. The big when to know when. Y'all yell at me. Your voice is silent. That's right, voice is silent. The first clue when to get help, lack of knowledge. Second clue, lack of time. Third clue, lack of enthusiasm. Thank you. I would be honored if y'all would join my online community, like Miss Carolyn over here. I've got a Facebook page. I'm kind of everywhere, but I'm wherever you want to be. LMCB Social, if you would go and like my Facebook page, I would be incredibly thankful. I've also just opened up my page for reviews. I didn't have that for the longest time. So if y'all want to do a review, that'd be awesome. I would appreciate it. Or Google Plus. If you who uses Google Plus? Okay. All right.
What are the advantages?
It's SEO. It's so
Yes.
you put stuff on Google Plus so that Google ranks you. It pulls you when it's doing searches. If you play with Google Plus, Google will play with you.
Yeah. So a review on Google Plus of my business page would be great too. I would appreciate it. So thank you again to the NAVO and thank y'all. Now, yes.